our ancestors who we will never know. Those ancestors that lived entire lifetimes that we don't even know their names. We don't even know they existed. But their courage to face what they faced is so dynamic, we have no right to give up now. Because you know something, my brother, what is your name? Say again? Gene Arnold, Brother Gene Arnold. You know, in our fears and in our intrepidations and in our feelings, I'm sure that there were people on the plantation felt like that too. They wondered what was going to happen to them when they left the plantation in December for the Underground Railroad, because that's when they left. They left in December because the sun, there was more night sky than day sky. So they could get more mileage out at night. They traveled at night and slept during the day. From December to December, following the drinking gourd, the North Star. I wonder what was on their mind when they were ready to take off. That fear, that pain that they felt. What was it? That's what I pray to every day to get me through my day. No matter what I face, no matter what fear, pain I feel, I call on Harriet. And I ask Harriet Tubman, whatever spirit was in her, because if Sister had freed herself and gone up north, I would have said, Sister, that's good. But to think that that sister returned so many times to free other Africans, put her life on the line, knowing that there was a price on her, that if they caught her, somebody would make money. Not knowing who even amongst her own group that was offered freedom if they gave her in, because that was one of the prizes too. Africans were said, look, if you tell me who it is, I'll free you. Because to free one African to turn her in meant nothing to them. To think despite that she was willing to come back, to dress in all different kinds, and to think all the while she had a physical ailment, that at any time she could pass out and not know. Suppose in the middle of one of her movements she passed out. When she woke up, well, if she woke up?
If she drowned in the swamp.
That's right. Things could have happened unnaturally and naturally. Yet something was fired up in that sister that said she was going to do something. That's what I pray to. I don't worry. I don't worry, my brother Gene Arnold. I know we're going to make it. A lot of us are not, though. We wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't think it was possible. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And even if every one of us were to perish off the face of the earth, life would start again, sometime, somewhere, at an anointed and at an appointed time in Africa, once again. Hopefully, this time, we get it right. I'm not worried at all. And then, to finish up your question, is that whenever anyone ever asks, is there hope? I always ask them, do we have a kindergarten class coming in? Because as long as we have our children, our young people, there will always be hope. There is nothing on this planet stronger than the human spirit. These guys out here don't have much longer to go. Their time is up. And they know this. This is why they had to do this at the election. This is their last hope. And he has to get in.
The main thing is they don't trust each other even more now.
And the Crusades show that. See, there's nothing new. The Crusades show that. Richard had to get back to England for fear that Philip was going to overtake him. And they were best friends. And they were both from France. They couldn't trust each other. But you see, the universe has it so that distrust breeds distrust. And that life has it that the longer you live in distrust, the deeper the distrust gets. They hate nobody more than themselves. But they don't have the courage to commit suicide, so they try to kill us. Now get to that. Think about it. Hey, that's how they are. And let me tell you something else. Even if they killed every African on the planet, they then would begin to kill each other. And then when the last one was left, he would commit suicide. Yep. There was a time when they were not here. There will be a time when they are not here. Their only hope is to blend with the people of color. That's the only hope. The only way they can survive. Everything in nature will show you an albino gorilla will only mate with a black gorilla. An albino peacock will only mate with a colored peacock. A white cockroach will only mate with another colored cockroach. An albino plant will only mate with a colored plant.
recruitation.
That's what they're pushing now. They're pushing into
Absolutely. That's their only survival.
White man with a black woman.
But and they're trying to do it gently, because they know that with you returning back to the original archetype, you must return back to the original mind. But they don't want to admit that. They don't want to say that. So what they're doing is you got all these Black Miss Americas, Black Miss Worlds. Even Miss Italy is a Dominican sister. I mean, this is what we're facing. And the whole while we think we ugly, and they're doing everything they can to look like us. They're taking fat from their booty to put it in their lip. They're taking all these big things to put them in their breasts. They're trying to get a big booty. They're trying to look like us. They'll lay out on the sun. They even created these things look like coffins. They get 24-hour suntan. Look like coffins, but that's what they are.
Cancer. They'd rather have
They're a
cancer
cancer
than
box.
white.
I'm telling you. And don't when they get a tan, don't they look at each other and say, "Oh, don't you look healthy?" Come on, isn't that true? My sister, please. You had your hand up. Then we're gonna go around. Please, my
So you
sister.
answered my question, but also want you know they are studying
Yes.
in Harvard. They're studying melanin,
Oh yes.
and they have pills called melatonin.
Yes.
And they also the furthermost research thing in DNA genetic code is DNA,
Yes.
and to also put that in DNA embryos that are Caucasian to
Yes.
have a white person to be able to have melanin.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
we're not they're trying to be us but look like themselves.
Exactly. And you know that unfortunately for them will never work, because ain't nothing like the real thing. You will never have anything false. You either is or you isn't. There's no way you can take any pills to be something that you're not, no more than we could take a pill to be something that we are not. Nature has it in a way that you must, because you will eventually, even with this thing about their birth control, you know, when they start having, you know, they're not having children, they're having litters now.
That's right.
They're having 8 and 9 children at a time. A woman's body was not meant to give birth to 8 or 9 children. In Africa, maybe triplets. Many Africans have twins, no problem, because the seed splits. You may even have triplets, which is in which nature's bound. But when you start having 6 and 7 children, no, you're not giving birth. You give into a litter. That's what dogs and cats do. Humans don't do that. And normally when you do have that is either outside of the natural pattern, which that sister and brother did.
Yes.
They had 6 children. No, they didn't take pills.
No.
They were unique. Yes, they were very unique, but that's to show you the power of melanin. But not one of them has ever given birth to that many without the fertility pills. Not one. And I'm telling you, no pill can ever do what nature told you couldn't do. If you were born not to have children, and I can understand, I have 3 children, I love children. My wife and I had 2 miscarriages, which devastated me as an individual. It hurt me very badly. Blessings on us, the Creator gave us 3 wonderful human beings, healthy and brilliant. We were lucky. But I know what I might have felt at this point in my life had I not been given children. It's painful. But if nature makes it that way, then again, Erykah Badu, maybe the next lifetime. But fertility pills, in the long run, you don't know what you're giving birth to. You don't know, that's Hitler's children. People don't like to hear that, but when you are playing around with genetics, that's what Hitler was doing.
Right? Soul's trouble.
Nature has it that, you know, you cannot take a fertility pill and create a spirit. Either that spirit is there or it is not there. They're creating bodies without spirits. Well, cloning is a whole other situation altogether. You can clone carrots. You don't clone human beings. Because you don't know what you're creating. There's nothing like the real thing. And the creative force has made nature so that there's a natural way to make this happen. That's unnatural. And although my heart goes out to anyone without children who may want children, accept it. Accept what nature has said, and maybe your purpose is to embrace other children who unfortunately may not have parents.
Professor Coleman, the white man in South Africa, you remember about 12 years ago, his wife was unable to carry the child, so they took in vitro fertilization and put it into her mother. Her mother carried her child, so she was the grandmother and the maternal mother to her own grandchild and to her son-in-law's sperm. The man is completely crazy. I mean, it's not a case of him thinking incorrectly. He can't think correctly, period. And they're thinking, why they're trying to get rid of this